They were told to stay inside. The Sewol Ferry Tragedy Part 1. The Sewol Ferry Disaster. The students who were told to stay. Imagine being 16 years old. You are on a school trip with your friends. You are laughing, taking pictures, talking about the holiday ahead and enjoying what should have been one of the happiest memories of your teenage years. Then suddenly, the ship beneath you begins to tilt. You become frightened, but an announcement comes through the speakers telling you to remain where you are. So you listen. You trust the adults responsible for your safety. You wait for someone to come and rescue you. But that decision will cost hundreds of people their lives. This is the heartbreaking story of the Sewol Ferry disaster. On the evening of April 15th, 2014, the passenger ferry Sewol departed from Incheon, South Korea, heading toward the holiday island of Jeju. There were 476 passengers and crew members aboard. Among them were 325 students from Danwon High School, traveling with their teachers on a school excursion. Most of those students were only 16 or 17 years old. Wikipedia. For them, this wasn't supposed to be a dangerous journey. It was a school trip, a chance to leave the classroom behind for a few days. Friends traveled together. Students talked, laughed, rested, and used their phones. Their parents were back home expecting their children to return with photographs, stories, and memories. Nobody could have imagined what would happen the following morning. On April 16th, as the Sewol traveled through waters off South Korea's southwestern coast, something went terribly wrong. At around 8:49 in the morning, the ferry made a turn and began leaning heavily to one side. Cargo shifted. The vessel continued tilting. Furniture and objects inside began sliding across floors. Walking became increasingly difficult. The situation was becoming an emergency. Investigations later found that the ferry had been illegally modified and overloaded, leaving it dangerously unstable. Investigators concluded that its condition, cargo, and movement during the turn contributed to the capsizing. Reuters. Inside the ship, students began realizing something was seriously wrong. The floor was no longer level. Some students recorded what was happening on their mobile phones. Others contacted family members. And one student did something remarkable. At approximately 8:52 a.m., at Danwon High School, a student made an emergency call, reporting that the ferry was capsizing. One of the earliest calls for outside help had come not from the people commanding the vessel, but from a frightened schoolboy aboard it. Reuters. Then came the instruction that would become one of the most